Speak tonight regarding an incident that took place on March 23rd. At approximately 3:30, a school bus arrived in the corner of Ridgewood Road and Ridgewood Terrace with an 8-year-old boy who was ill and started to have a seizure. The mother laid the child on the ground and 911 was called immediately, and it was described with the address and the situation. We were told that help was on the way. The boy lay on the ground and continued to seize as time continued to pass. No help arrived, so additional calls were placed to 911. After 10 minutes, a police officer arrived on the scene who administered oxygen, and the seizures continued. The police officer also radioed for help, but that help went unanswered. At one point, the police officer encouraged the parents on the scene to also call 911 again. Another 10 minutes passed with no ambulance, no fire truck, no support from a neighboring town. It was not until 22 minutes after the initial call that a paramedic arrived from Newark. During this 22-minute period of concern, parents and child stood by shocked as the town and the neighboring town failed to provide basic emergency services. On March 23rd, I believe this town could have done a better job. When you call for emergency services, you deserve to have a fast response, and I don't believe 22 minutes is sufficient. Calls to question basic questions. Where was the neighborhood EMT? I assume they were dispatched on another call, and if that's true, was proper protocol followed to notify neighboring towns? If so, where was the neighboring town? If the neighboring town was off on another call, was Maplewood made aware of that fact? And if no EMTs were available in Maplewood or neighboring towns, why was not a fire truck dispatched? 22 minutes with no EMT, no neighboring town EMT, and no fire truck.
On that day, as Tom Sparrow indicated, the bus pulled up around 3:31, and for all of us moms and parents who were there, we thought it was a normal day. Until we saw a little boy who was in need of dire medical attention. And we called 911 immediately. Several people called 911. There were at least 4 calls that I was aware of. They placed the boy on the shoulder of Ridgewood, and as Tom indicated, we waited for the police to arrive and the ambulance to arrive. We were told that an ambulance was on its way. The police did arrive, I would say within 8 to 10 minutes. And they did begin to administer oxygen. About 10 minutes into it, there was quite a state of panic. The boy was still convulsing. There was still no medical attention. So we solicited the help of a neighbor who happened to be an ER doctor. He actually ran from a few blocks over and reached the boy who was in assistance far ahead of the ambulance. And then I would say when the ambulance did arrive, the principal and also the school nurse had also arrived on that scene. They drove from Marshall School to the scene and were there as well. So I think some of the questions that I have are very similar. Clearly what happened, why did it take so long? Is there emergency protocol from the school buses so that the buses can notify 911? What happened, and why didn't we, when we called back to 911, they kept saying the ambulance is on its way. No one was saying what we should do, no one was saying when it would arrive. It was all very ambiguous, and I think those of us who were on the scene kept feeling like it's going to show no time. I actually had the child who was having a medical event. I had his brother, and he kept saying help is on the way, but it was taking a very, very, very long time.